Groomed Liars, Chapter 2. Now, I've stated numerous times before that when you fight a war in a foreign country, you have to build a city the size of Corpus Christi, Texas, from top to bottom. From the asphalt on the ground to the lobsters in the general's refrigerator. This is why corporations love war. War benefits all corporations. When we fight a war, it's very much akin to the Chinese building ghost cities. Now, I'm sure you've heard of ghost cities, right? These are massive cities in China in which no one lives. Well, we do the same thing in the United States, only we do it on foreign soil. And the cities are just as useless because when the war is over, there's nothing there except decaying buildings and rusting metal junk. I'm sure you remember the famous scene post-Vietnam of our servicemen pushing helicopters into the sea off aircraft carriers. Well, that's what war produces. It's a complete waste of our money. But money is what it's all about for the ruling elite. They have no problem pushing $1 million helicopters into the sea. That's why they put our politicians in power. That's why George and Herman Brown donated so much money to Lyndon Johnson's campaign for Senate in 1948. Lyndon Johnson paid them back by prosecuting the Vietnam War, in which George and Herman Brown made a fortune. You can go to Houston today and admire the George Brown Convention Center. You may as well. You paid for it. That was your money. Of course, 58,000 Americans died during the Vietnam War, but that shouldn't trouble you. Remember, stay oblivious. Move on with your life. Now, it's easy to do because your mainstream media won't tell you the dark side of American power, but it exists. You don't know about it because the mainstream media is paid off through extravagant salaries. They're not going to rock the boat. The main problem we have in our society today is that our leaders are addicted to money. They're sick. They are truly sick. No money is enough for them. Our leaders have a pituitary problem. Their pituitary does not regulate properly their greed. 250 billion is not enough. They want $1 trillion. And so they are very much like the meth-addicted father of the family who will destroy the family, who will rob the family to feed his habit. In this metaphor, we, the citizens of the United States, are the family who suffer at the hands of the father, the wealthy elite, who will gladly borrow and bankrupt the United States of America to feed his habit of greed. Our elites will bankrupt the nation in order to fight the useless wars which enrich them. When we fight a war, we must build a city, as I've stated before, the size of Corpus Christi, Texas, somewhere on another continent. The city must be built, as I've already stated, from the asphalt in the ground to the lobsters in the general's refrigerator. Now, I want you to stop and look around at the room you're in and point a finger randomly at any object in your room and announce aloud what the object is, whether it is a lamp, gypsum board, coffee, table, lamp, chair, flooring, desk, computer, picture, air conditioning vent, fan, pillow, rug, door, doorknob, Venetian blind, whatever. You can go on forever. All those things need to be supplied in war. And this is why all of corporate America benefits from war. It's not just defense contractors who benefit from war. It is everybody in corporate America. Even manufacturers of ice cream make money off war. This is why corporate America loves war. And this pressure builds up on the politicians who are owned by corporate America. And this is why we live in a war economy. It comes about through greed. And there is no system that can hold up under greed. Greed destroys everything. Greed produces arrogance, which produces the fall. And this will be our fate unless we can stop our addiction to money. And it's both parties, Democrat and Republican, that are addicted to war and money. After Eisenhower created the Middle Way, it was only a matter of time before corporate America started putting its essential factories in every congressman's district. Therefore, each congressional district would become economically dependent upon the war machine. Shut down the war machine, and that congressman's district suffers. Therefore, the congressman has a vested interest in war. And that helps drive the need for war. And if there isn't a war to fight, the ruling elite will create one. It's easy to make an enemy. Thus Iran, thus Russia, thus China. These are artificial enemies. We don't need anything they have to offer. Except, of course, uranium that we purchase off Russia. Yes, that's right. We get a significant portion of our uranium off Russia. Here is this from Google AI. Yes, the U.S. has continued to buy enriched uranium from Russia despite a May 2024 law banning such imports, primarily because Russia is a major supplier, around 20% of U.S. needs, and the ban includes waivers for national interest or lack of alternatives, allowing shipments to continue temporarily as the U.S. builds its domestic supply chain. While the ban aims to end reliance on Russia, shipments have been permitted through waivers, with Russia remaining a top supplier in 2024, although its share is decreasing. But wait a minute, isn't Russia our mortal enemy? And haven't they been our mortal enemy my entire life? Some 71 years and counting? That's what I was told. Why are we buying uranium for nuclear weapons of someone we are trying to destroy with the very weapons that are made out of the material they're selling to us? Well, forget about those thoughts. They are our enemy because we need them to be. Your elites don't want you to think about that one too much. Those are unapproved thoughts. Thank you.